Now, before I move to discussing the phase from the age of 45-50, where I mentioned that the INFJ faces a new opening toward making the choice of spiritualization, so exiting, if you like, veering away from the path with its own consistent and sort of strong inertia of solipsism or compliance, I just want to take a moment, or take a whole video to draw a little comparison with the life of the INFJ who, during the phase of, say, 30, 35 years old, made, some way, shape, or form, a different choice and chose the path of individuation. Okay? So here, clearly, we're looking at an INFJ who is no longer on the path, reassuring yet at the same time constricting of either solipsism or compliance. We're looking at an INFJ who has sort of envisioned himself or herself anew, afresh, is facing new challenges, but also feels empowered and enhanced by the authentic choice that they have made. So, what's important to understand? Very important to understand, because this will help also understand why it's so difficult to make that choice and why so many people remain compliant or solipsistic. And in fact, this applies to people of all stripes and types. This is not just an INFJ issue. It so happens that in the INFJ conception, in the INFJ vocabulary, such concepts and terms as compliance and solipsism are very, very useful, and that's why I use them. But someone who relates to what I'm talking about from the perspective of a different type, and I know that there are some of you in the audience who do and who are not INFJ, it's kind of your task to find the right words, the right nomenclature to capture the experience as seen through the lens of a person of a distinct family, a distinct type. Nevertheless, this choice is difficult, and the way in which you can really see that is that, to all intents and purposes, when casually looking at the situation from the stance of the external observer, this individualized INFJ, or rather I should say this INFJ engaged on the path of spiritualization that will last till the end of their life without ever being quite completed. From the outside, comparing this INFJ to the other ones, it's not easy to find objective criteria that will allow to say this INFJ is leading a better life. This INFJ may, as part of their reckoning and choice of the more authentic way of life, may be led to quit their job and take up a position somewhere else or follow a career that's less lucrative. This INFJ can be led to cut off certain relationships with people that they accepted were not conducive to their well-being, even though from the outside, perhaps these acquaintances or friendships seemed very valuable. Maybe these were excellent people, seen from the outside again. Maybe they ended a relationship that a lot of people considered was going very well. They seemed to be a beautiful couple or happy couple or something like that. This reminds me of a line from a Leonard Cohen song. And in fact, he's often typed INFJ, but he said, sure, we played a stunning couple, but I never liked the part. Right, so which I think is a very kind of spiritualized way of looking at the situation. The part implying there's a kind of acting, there's a kind of acting that's involved in the non-spiritualizing modes of existence, again, for any type, given their own concepts in order to capture the particular experiences of those types. Not acting is a very difficult choice, and it can involve opting for a lifestyle that's seen objectively or externally is less good than the lifestyle of these other INFJs who opted to remain compliant. Less likely, better in the case of the INFJ who remains solipsistic, because objectively solipsism and high quality of living standards, unless you are an heir to quite a bit of wealth, it's just not very compatible. But a lot of compliance do well. Internally, it's not so clear. So again, this INFJ who's opted for spiritualization may, in fact, is likely to have to make strong and important choices regarding concrete changes in their lives, changing jobs, maybe going back to study, changing where they live, changing not all of their friends, but realizing that there are certain friends, maybe not the coolest, maybe not the ones that are seen by the outside as the most valuable, are the ones that should be prioritized. Maybe not the friends who have a house that they can invite them to, or friends in some influential circles that can promote their aspirations. The kind of INFJ who might have to decide that if they like writing, if they like art, they really want to pursue their own idiosyncratic approach to writing or to painting or to sculpting, even if it means that they won't have the same levels of, they won't be as likely to secure the esteem of cultural circles and get social approval and maybe a sketch of what they would consider to be a legacy. It requires abandoning all these things, renouncing all these things, to use a Freudian term in this particular case, being able to renounce something that was valued, but not because it was authentic, but because it corresponded to an avatar, an image of what they thought was valuable, an internal object that was pulsating, that was luminous and numinous, that they probably had acquired early in life from their parents, that was still talking to them and telling them, this is how you should lead your life. We all have that. The less you have that, the more you're able to renounce that, not hate it, not castigate it, renounce it with neither love nor hate, okay? But with firmness. That's individuation. There's no guarantee in that in terms of your external riches, in terms of the esteem you have socially, societally, in the eyes of the world, there's no guarantee that this will be better than before. And that's the hardest decision of all. Let me know in the comments what you thought, guys. Don't forget, you can support me on Patreon. I need your support more than ever. I could not do this without you. If you appreciate my work and can afford to spend a small amount every month or every year, I ask you to please consider it. You can join it at the link to my Patreon in the description box. You know that you get access to some cool perks in addition to helping me, like the Discord server, the Fofol. Come meet me there and the other really cool and nice people there, as well as a bonus video every 2-3 weeks on the topic of your choice. You can also get my books. Don't forget the latest one on the INFJ is the Infinite Soul, INFJ Life in the Modern World. If you haven't yet got it, it's a goodie. You should get it now. First link below, in fact, and also linked below is the prequel, The Ecstatic Soul, which is to this day the deepest look into the INFJ mind. Alright, you guys, see you tomorrow. Take care.